my
God!
Oh my God!
Jackson!
Camden!
Welcome back to Roomies Talkin Movies, the next best stop for all things movie news and reviews. I'm your host, Danan, and joining with me today, as always, are my two wonderful superheroes, Camden
Yeah.
and Jackson.
Also, yeah.
We're sharing a mic today.
Because the studio decided to just BF me, and it doesn't mean boyfriend. This week, we're back to talk about the movie. If we were to end this year of 2021 with a film, one of them would be this
Dream
one.
Horse.
It'd be Dream Horse again if we could, but this
I
one
love
is
Dream
actually
Horse.
Spider-Man No Way Home.
No Way Home.
Fine.
Everyone,
Finally.
hit your Spider-Man pose.
You can't do
That's
the
good.
same pose
that's-
as me,
That's the
Jackson.
Spider-Man.
That's good.
But
What-
that's
you want me to
my
get up on my
Spider-Man.
Do a backflip.
pose.
Do a backflip.
Okay,
Do a
I'll
backflip Spider-Man pose.
Gotcha, yeah.
Wow, that's
do
really
that.
impressive. I mean, for the people watching the video, they know you didn't do it, but for
Can
the
you guys,
audio
like,
ones.
rotate my image 180
Woo!
degrees in the editing?
Okay,
Yeah,
there we go.
I got you, man.
Thank you.
But we're here. Oh my God. This is our spoiler-free review. If you want spoilers, that will be in a separate video. And for those listening here, it's just going to be the whole thing. Wait for us to be done with spoilers.
You can
I mean,
skip ahead, like,
spoiler-free. Yeah, just
5-10
5-10 minutes. We're just talking about the non-spoiler stuff, if possible.
Mhm.
Something that I'd like to say isn't much of a spoiler if we get into it. Spider-Man's in this film.
Definitely.
Okay, well, let's just be careful there because Spider-Man is in this film,
Let's cut
and
that
that
out.
is
Let's,
kind of a spoiler.
let's just,
So, yeah.
people are in this film.
So, in someone, No Way Home.
In this person's name.
Go ahead, give us
No
a
Way
quick
Home.
overview, Dan.
So what happens at the end of Far From Home, the title that everyone just says No Way Home because they forget it's Far From Home, because I do that all the time. Spider-Man got gaslighted by Jake Gyllenhaal, also known as Mysterio, and he outs that Spider-Man is Peter Parker. And if you're like, how much time dives in from when we last see our hero in peril? None. But you don't get to hear Spider-Man say, F*** a car honks. So
I
that
know.
way.
Yeah.
They did that
They
twice.
bleeped it out
They bleeped it
without putting a
twice.
censor bleep in.
Yeah, they really bamboozled us. If you were waiting 2 years to hear Spider-Man say, F***, keep waiting, buddy.
Yeah.
Never says it, never will.
Maybe
Well,
in Spider-Man.
Spoiler warning. Spider-Man doesn't say F*** in this film. Sorry, guys.
Devastating.
You might have to wait for Spider-Man Go Home.
I hate you. But anywho, after he's outed, get-
Go home.
after he gets outed, life gets crazy for our old pal Pete. Everyone wants him dead. Everyone wants him outed. Is he Spider-Man? Is he a murderer? And then they got to figure that out. But as we've seen from the trailers, thank you, Sony, for giving us the first 40 minutes in only 2 minutes in the first trailer. They decide, well, this ain't going to work. Spider-Man's going to try to, use some magic and get people to just forget that he was outed as Spider-Man. But something goes awry. Or should I say, a Dr. Octopus. He's just one of a lot of villains that burst their way through. We have our Alfred Molina back as Dr. Octopus. We have our Willem Dafoe back as Goblin Man.
That's not his name.
We have Jamie
No,
Foxx
Goblin Man,
as
I
the
like
electrician.
The electrician.
We have Ralph Fiennes as Lizard Gizzard. We have Flint Marko, his character name, because I forgot the actual actor's name for a second.
Poor
Sandman.
guy.
Yeah.
And then that's it. There's only 5. So that means that no Sinister Six in this
Thanks.
movie.
Unfortunately.
Unfortunately, but
We would have loved
they
to
make
see
up
the
for it
Sinister Six.
with what, Jackson?
That's a good question. I
With
don't know. I didn't
5
watch the
of them
movie.
instead
With
of
5
6
of them
of
instead
them.
of, which is better than a 50%.
Better than a 50%. That's like 5 out of 6%.
Some would say almost all of them.
Almost all. Yeah.
But let's talk about some of the things we like. Characters. Tom Holland's back, baby.
Tom Holland's a
He's
good.
back and he's swinging.
He really was web
He
slinging.
came out in this film swinging on webs. That is
I think his acting,
phenomenal.
phenomenal
Pretty
in this
good.
film.
Yeah.
He's pretty emotional, I'd argue.
He's a-
Emotional Spider-Man. He
he's a
could
pretty
get some pretty
Spider-Man.
good emotional scenes.
And we don't get
to
a
show
cl-
off his
we don't-
acting
yeah,
prowess.
yeah,
you know,
we don't
'cause
have-
he doesn't really get a lot like that. But
Mm-mm.
we go.
He's mainly the voice actor, but now we can see he's an actor.
yeah,
So get ready for some real acting in Uncharted. But this we really get to see him be Spider-Man in this movie. This whole movie is about what does it mean to be Spider-Man. And I think at the end of the film, you should have that answer. And if you don't, probably didn't watch the movie
didn't watch the
correctly.
movie very well.
You didn't watch it because it's like really obvious. But from there, let's talk about some of these
Some of these
incoming
villains.
incoming new / returning villains. What? Are they new? Are they old?
Gonna have to watch the movie to find out.
Yeah,
for
we can't
sure.
get into specifics about what and where, but for who they are as their characters.
Mhm.
A standout in this film totally gets his redemption from his last outing. Jamie Foxx is
Jamie
Electro.
Foxx, yeah.
Let's just say, from what he was beforehand to what he is now, they make fun of him being blue a bit in this movie,
Yeah, and also having a comb over.
and also being bit by electric eels.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot actually.
You know, some people would think that Electro is a dumb villain or something.
He is. Yeah.
He
I
is.
mean,
he's a dumb villain.
his origins dumb, but his powers are cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's
Way
very flashy
cooler.
villain.
Than everyone else, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly. Like
He
his
definitely-
powers versus everyone else that was there.
Definitely the most.
I mean, other than
visually,
Spider-Man,
yeah,
I'd
He
argue
literally
Spider-Man's
could
pretty
just
cool.
teleport
with lightning.
with lightning. Like
He
that's
travels
pretty
at
cool.
the speed of light. I'd argue that's pretty fast.
That's-
And then we also get some play with Sandman and Lizard.
Mhm.
If you're a lizard head out there or a sand maniac, don't hold your breath. They're not in the film at all, but they definitely focus on Electro, Doctor Octopus, and Green Goblin.
But I
as-
mean,
no one was
figured
really
that from the villains panel that they
you
did.
have
you know?
reached the maximum depth of a villain of Lizard after he tries to turn a city into
Into
lizards,
lizards.
and then they go, "Is that a good
Hey,
idea?"
stop it! And he's like, "That's my character.
I'm a lizard.
I'm gonna
I'm a
do it
lizard,
again."
and I gotta make other people lizards.
And
Yeah.
Sandman, you might be interested into what his inclusion is because the ending of Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 3, he and Spider-Man end on good terms. And for that, you'll watch the film to figure out why. Or you wait a few minutes and go over to our spoilers. But the end-all be-all. Alfred Molina's back. Doc Ock looks fantastic in this film.
He does.
Oh, yeah.
Can we just say those arms? They work.
They look great.
Pretty nice.
They look fantastic.
Mhm.
Almost as fantastic as the return of everyone's favorite Green Goblin. Sorry for every Dane DeHaan Green Goblin fan out there. Amazing Spider-Man 2 wasn't that great.
No.
Willem Dafoe.
He added some heat to this film.
Let's just say, you smell something burning?
No.
Willem Dafoe is on fire in this film. That's
Yeah.
Someone
He-
should
no,
put him out
literally on
immediately.
fire.
literally on
That is
fire.
so
at certain
dangerous.
points. But,
Yeah. No spoilers. Willem Dafoe went down in flames.
he
No spoilers.
The actor, not the character Green
got
Goblin.
lit on fire.
Yeah.
And
He's
he
dead.
did his own stunts
Rest in
too.
peace.
He didn't need to be on fire in the scene either.
No.
It was really uncomfortable for everyone on set.
It was sad. He was in pain.
He in just this one film makes a huge leap in the MCU villain rankings for being in
yeah.
just this one film, just going up the list because
Yeah.
just what he does and the complexities of like the Shakespearean Jekyll and Hyde, because that comes back in this film. If you're worried about like the interesting styles of all these villains, they come back in full swing in this film.
Mhm.
Yeah. And then, they're putting the emphasis on these villains with 4 other villains in the movie. So, overall good job managing them all.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, they definitely stick the landing on this film.
Oh yeah.
They did not pull a Spider-Man 3 or an Amazing Spider-Man 2 where they just threw too much in.
Yeah.
Because they knew to just not waste time on the lizard.
On the lizard and not waste time on the man made out of sand. They did have some
Sandman.
comical situations where he sat down on a
And he was like,
on
"Oh
a
man,
sofa.
I'm made
Sand
out of
everywhere.
like, oh, I
sand."
got sand everywhere.
Because
As you would expect.
because he's made out of
he's
sand.
made out
And
of sand.
you live for those moments in the
That's what
Spider-Man movie. You go, that's a man made out of sand. He better have a moment where he's like, I'm a man made out of sand.
That's what I'm saying.
Back to the overall. Can we talk about something? Can we talk about action in this film?
The
Oh, yeah.
action was amazing.
Action is superb.
It felt like they took a level up from Far From Home.
And
For
Far
sure.
From Home was great.
Mm-hmm. Especially at the end of Far From Home.
Yeah.
When he was fighting Mysterio.
Yeah,
That was-
that level of like care
They
and
amped it
effort,
up.
they do that in every single fight scene. Whether
Mhm.
it's like a quick encounter for like 20 seconds or it's a large
Yeah.
5-minute fight, the focus of details and everything in those fights is what makes this movie just exceptional. When
The
it comes
thing I
to
liked
action.
about the action scenes in this movie was it felt like they weren't like, okay, so now we have dialogue and then an action sequence and then dialogue and then an action sequence. It felt like it was kind of, except for
Interwoven.
like, I don't know how much I really want to give away. There's like a portion where you're like, okay, this is a battle, but like, other than that, it kind of feels like the action is like mainly a part of the story and feels like it has.
They
a
don't have like
purpose
here's
rather
this
than just,
cool
like, punch, punch,
choreographed
punch.
thing.
Yeah,
here's some
like
dialogue.
although like in Homecoming when like the ferry split, like that was like important to like
Mhm.
moving the plot forward. It didn't really. It kind of felt like, look at how cool this sequence is. We thought of the sequence and then made it fit the script. This kind of felt like they wrote it.
They're like, hey, he's
ahead
gonna
of
have to
time.
get from point A to point B. Who's in the way?
Yeah.
And then that's what's happening.
Yeah.
But you know what was not planned to be in this film, at least in my personal opinion? Some depth. We get some depth in this movie. We really
It's pretty deep.
we get some philosophical viewpoints on what it means to be a hero and the great responsibilities that come
Ooh.
with it.
There are some responsibilities.
The definition of Spider-Man is definitely tested, definitely pushed,
Defined even.
Defined. Willem Dafoe.
Willem defined.
Willem defined.
But it is just a fun from start to finish. All your characters from the other Spider-Man films are back as well. Zendaya does a fantastic job as MJ in this movie. Really just one of the most likable love interests for any of the main MCU films.
Yeah.
And just as a character in general, like Ned and MJ were just competent. They weren't like, well, let's get out of here. They're like, well, we got to do this to help out.
I think that rational decisions for having no powers.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, they did the best they could for not being literally Spider-Man.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. I think that they actually had interesting growth for the side characters in this movie, a lot more than the previous two did.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to reveal too much, but like I feel like they're very different people at the end of the film.
100%. There's definitely a huge step in all of these characters.
You can really see how Spider-Man like impacts all these people and impacts like not only like the situations they're in, but like their mental development and like their choices in life.
The biggest
where
thing,
they go to school, like it affects like everything.
Because you think when Spider-Man gets revealed, oh, this is gonna suck for our main character.
Mm-hmm.
What about everyone else who's connected to him?
Exactly.
That's what this movie explores.
It's a good movie.
I'm gonna say something here.
Okay, man.
I'm gonna turn up the volume on this a little bit just so that way we can.
It's the best Spider-Man movie.
This was one of the Spider-Man films I've ever watched.
That's a hot take. That is a hot take.
For sure.
And I don't know if I agree.
Mike too, so we can give our takes.
Yeah, for sure.
Go ahead, Jackson.
Okay. I've never watched a Spider-Man film in my life. I know.
I was gonna say. Okay. This is the best Spider-Man movie I've ever seen. I've never seen another Spider-Man movie.
This is the first Spider-Man movie I've ever watched.
This is simultaneously also the worst Spider-Man movie I've
Based solely off the ranking of it being the only Spider.
Yeah.
This is the Spider-Man movie for live action at the very least. Some people will say Into the Spider-Verse is still better, and those people, okay, that movie's almost flawless.
Yeah, no, it's like
this
when
movie,
people called it Spider-Man Endgame,
this is Spider-Man Endgame. This is just, but it's also, and this is not a spoiler because we announced it last week in the news bits. This is a leaping off point.
Mm-hmm.
Where does Spider-Man fit in the MCU now? Yeah. Now that he is defined as this, as he's defoed as this character, where are we going to see Spider-Man next?
Because he's got a whole
in New York,
trilogy ahead of him.
Probably in New York.
Most likely in New York because that's where he's at. But
yeah,
this is a fantastic movie. This is an amazing movie. And this is a spectacular movie.
This is a Spider-Man.
This is a Spider movie.
It's a Spider-Man.
What do you give this movie out of 5 out of 6 Sinister Six members? So it's only out of 5, but 5 of the Sinister Six members. A little confusing, but out of 5.
So 5 of the 5 Sinister Six members that
appear in this film.
Okay.
4.7.
Nice.
4.85.
I'm taken aback a little.
I know.
This is a 5. This is a 5.
Woo!
This is a 5.
Danan liked it.
This is a 5. We're ranking all the movies we ranked in 2021, so I'm interested to see where this comes up in it.
Yeah.
But this is just a fantastic movie.
It's so fun. It's 2.5 hours long. Feels like 15 minutes. It feels like it flies by.
Like I'm not exhausted.
I don't know, guys. There's not that many tickets selling right now, so make sure you go out and see Spider-Man: No Way Home. They need the support. It's a small indie film.
Yeah.
It's an out there movie. They really take some leaps, but I think it's
buy 2 tickets for yourself,
and then give us the other ones.
Because
we'll go again. Want to see this.
We want to see it again. It was so underrated.
This film, it's
didn't expect it to be
for being 2.5 hours. It is just like a breeze. Like I'm not exhausted afterwards. I want to know what happens.
Can I explain what it felt like?
For sure.
It's like what Rise of Skywalker should have been.
That's exactly what it is.
In the sense of pacing.
And also,
it was so quickly paced. There was not a dull moment, but they did it right. They did it. It felt.
It wasn't quickly paced. So like we didn't solve this thing. It was just like here's this. Hey, you need to do this now.
With the story, yeah.
And it wasn't just with Peter. It was other characters too. Like once Peter is dealt with this situation, what's going on with Aunt May? What's going on with every other character going? Doctor Strange is in this movie. Also, the best Doctor Strange sequences in this movie.
Oh yeah,
Not spoiling what it is, but
he's pretty cool.
And speaking
lot to
about
talk
spoilers, we're going to have to dip into our spoilers. So for those of you listening to the spoiler free, make sure to come back for the spoilers
Leave.
after watching the movie.
Leave.
Do not ruin this for
Leave.
yourself. Jackson, tell them that they can't ruin this movie for themselves. They have to see it before they listen to our spoilers.
Watch this movie at your local theater, preferably in IMAX. Don't buy popcorn; it's overpriced. And come back to listen to our spoiler section
If
when
you
you're
go
done.
to your library on YouTube, and then you can see your history there, in case people didn't know. You can find us there after you've watched this part.
Yes.
Yeah. If you haven't watched this part, it won't be in your history.
You literally won't know what you're doing. You're so stupid.
Huh? From the movie?
From
Like,
the movie.
yeah,
It's spoiler time, baby. So if you have not seen this movie, one more time for those of you who are a little sneaky and thought, oh, let's go watch the spoiler listen. Don't.
Please leave.
I
I'm
cannot.
begging.
You
Get
are
outta
embarrassing.
here.
It is my daughter's
Like
most
in a
You
important.
get outta here.
No, I wasn't talking about.
Forget about it, huh?
Forget about it.
But come back afterwards to listen to some spoilers. Now, for our spoiler talk of Spider-Man No Way Home, we're not going to be going shot for shot because that ruins the experience for the movie. We're going to bring out some points that we loved, some interesting concepts that we did explore, and also some questions that we might still have after seeing this film. One of which being, they did it.
They
Fucking
did it.
They did it.
They did it.
They did the thing.
And by which I mean they released Spider-Man No Way Home. I was really scared they weren't going to
Toby.
do it. Toby and Andrew.
Toby and Andrew.
Toby and Andrew, baby.
Oh my god.
You want to see 3 Spider-Man?
Go
We got
see
3
this
Spider-Man.
film. Go see this film because there's 3 Spider-Man in this
The people
film.
who have not seen this movie have left already, or they don't.
Then why
care about
did
it
you
being
ask
spoiled.
them if they wanted to see 3 Spider-Man?
That's like if you went into this movie to see 3 Spider-Man.
Yeah, and I was
left.
responding, then go see this film. Where's the disconnect here, Danny?
Because they've
you
already-
always
this is
try
the
and do
spoil-
this on the podcast, man. Sorry,
3
Jackson.
Spider-Man.
3 Spider-Man in this film.
That's what's going on. But what's really interesting about this is they don't make it a big thing when they're first introduced. It's
I
not like
was
this.
thinking that during the film. They were at Ned's grandma's
But I like
house,
that.
and then
I like
just
that.
both showed up at Ned's grandma's house. You would
Yeah.
not expect. You'd expect them to show up in the final battle.
Yeah,
but then-
I
Right.
did
They were just
enjoy
kinda
that they had that good I think 20 solid minutes in this film. It didn't feel like 30. It could have been,
yeah.
but it felt like at least 20 solid minutes of them being in the movie to interact with Peter,
yeah.
Right.
which is better than them showing up at the end and going, "Oh, cool," and then they leave. They're like, "I'm a
Mhm.
Spider-Man too." No, they show up and they're confused because they're like, "Wait, this isn't my universe."
Confused. Yeah.
I like how Andrew Garfield Spider-Man comes. Is he in an alleyway? He's just beating up a homeless guy. That goes, "Peter, huh? Huh?
He's like, what's going on?
Guys, this suit was red when I bought it." And then, and then Toby's just like, "Hey guys,
Hey guys, I'm just wearing.
have you
normal
seen
clothes.
my garden?"
It looked like he lived there. Like I don't
Yeah,
know what
honestly.
he was doing.
Like he was just
It was
a
just-
neighbor
kinda
down the
just
street.
walking
I don't
around,
know.
like-
He was like, "No, I'm just looking for a Spider-Man. I don't know. I'm just looking around for him."
This
Anyone
isn't
seen
my
Spider-Man?
New York.
I really like how they did the prove that you're Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Stick to the wall. I'm not gonna okay. And then he just does that.
Yeah.
And then crawl on the wall. And he's like, "Show us your Ned, stop it." Things like
Yeah.
that. It was really fun to see those characters and see how they play with Spider-Man.
They
And
interact so well.
it is fluid because it's not just them talking to Tom Holland.
Mhm.
They are all interconnecting with different connections that they have. Toby talks to Andrew at one point about you lost someone. Hey, we have to keep fighting the good fight. You'll find the right person,
Right.
kind of thing like that. Because that doesn't apply to Tom.
And they're also partially mentors to him because they're basically saying, don't make the mistakes we did.
And also, Tom becomes a little bit of a leader to them.
We're your mentor, Tom. And then they tried fighting, and then they were like, "We're
He's like,
falling apart.
"You
This is
guys
f***ing
suck
awful.
at
Have
this."
you guys ever worked with a team?" And they were like, "No."
But
That was good.
that was good to show what
Yeah.
made all of those Spider-Men have interesting strengths and differences. Because
Like
it's
they
not
were like,
fun.
"Whoa, what the f? You produce your own web?"
That
fluid?"
was great.
That
Yeah.
was so good.
There's so much that we could talk about on just their
It's just
inclusion.
endless.
We'll probably talk a little bit more on it before we end, but
Yeah.
let's get back on some villains. So Jamie Foxx's Electro, literally just the whole time. I would say
He
I
was
would say
bad from
I
the
would say
beginning and
static.
all the way to the end.
I would say static, huh? Because of electricity.
Yeah.
Great work.
But
That's good, man.
But yeah, he's from the beginning.
Crackling.
He's like, man, I could just destroy all of New York with all this electricity. We can get you back to your home. I could destroy New York.
Yeah, no, he
And
was.
they didn't pay attention
no.
to it.
I mean, it makes sense as to why he wants
Yeah.
to just stay because he's so much better than in the Amazing
Yeah, he's
Spider-Man.
not blue.
He's
He's
not
hot.
blue. He
Yeah,
actually
he was
has a
like,
good
"Oh my
haircut.
God.
He's
Oh
like, wow,
my
the energy here is
God.
different.
This-
that explains why I look hot.
This
Yeah.
fade is just insane. I have hair. That looks
Yeah.
good. That's
Yeah.
a good part. Sandman was sand.
I don't blame him. Sandman was sand.
yeah,
didn't
he
even
didn't
turn
I
turn
was,
human
I
until
was,
the very end.
I was worried, but then
That
we
they
got to
didn't
see
have the-
human Flint
yeah.
Marko at the end. And he kind of got the best end out of all those villains because he
For
doesn't
sure.
die in his own universe to begin with. So he gets to go back and he's like, my daughter, I'm not Sandman anymore, so I could see you. And
Look at I don't turn to sand anymore.
Dr. Connors is like, oh, I'm still a wanted terrorist and I
Yeah.
don't have an arm. And then
Great.
like Electro's like, I guess I'm gonna explode when I go back to my reality.
Honestly, I feel like Dr. Octopus got the best deal because he hadn't done his atrocities
But
yet.
but
He kinda did,
he,
though.
He lost his arm.
He said
like
that they were
where's his machine? Like the machine was already built at that point.
they were on they were
They were doing the final fight.
yeah, like it was like right at the end. So like he was there.
yeah, he already made
He
the
already
mini
Oh,
did
he
sun.
did.
the,
So?
they did
Oh,
the
okay.
train thing already. Like
I don't know.
people
He
knew
got
was
he
a
got to
bad-
leave
was a
with
bad
the
guy.
arc reactor, so I
Yeah.
thought that
The-
maybe
Yeah,
he
I don't
got
know.
the
Maybe they're
best.
setting something up there.
Do you
but
like quotes
see.
from previous films that are also memes?
They're in this film.
There
There
got a
is one.
couple. I'm a bit
Yeah.
of a movie
of a
reviewer
s-
myself,
oh,
but
Got the palm of the sun in my hand.
got the sun of the palm in my
Yeah.
hands. But no, it's fine. They do some tongue-in-cheek thing, but this is a celebration of Spider-Man, the character and all the characters that are surrounding with it, and
Yeah.
it is a joy to watch all
It
of
was
these things.
beautiful.
To get
I
into,
cried.
I didn't.
I didn't cry.
to get
Kanan
in,
did,
I
though.
cry. I
didn't cry a lot.
cried a
We didn't
lot
cry at
in
all.
this
We're
movie.
strong men.
I was
Yeah.
just I was a little boy on Christmas. I was a little boy on Christmas to see everything. It wasn't even the fact that the other two Spider-Men show up. It was the fact that you got to see so many cool concepts and executions of things happening.
Mhm.
Like it was just a set piece of action, but it was such a cool thing to see the apartment fight. How strong everyone is fighting Tom Holland Spider-Man. They're going through walls and floors.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
not just a change of scenery. You were leveling a building
Yeah.
with the differences. Like he would punch someone up and they'd fall back through into a further part of the floor.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
And it was then you feel like Spider-Man is outnumbered in this.
Oh,
yeah.
for sure.
When Electro turns and then all the villains escape. Like that is
You knew it was
There's
going
no
bad,
way he
too.
gets
like
out of
Liz-
it.
Lizard
like an hour
Lizard
into the
beats
movie,
the
you're
shit out of him. Doc Ock runs away.
Yeah.
Electro explodes everything. Green Goblin's kicking the shit out of him.
kills Ant-Man.
Almost.
Can we talk about that?
Let's talk about it. So
So-
I got this spoiled for me.
You did?
hmm
How?
Yeah, weeks ago because it was just like a leak, like similar to like how we got all the 3 Spider-Men spoiled for us.
Yeah.
I didn't know if it was true.
Yeah, but like
But
I
like
had
I
that
heard
chance.
that it happened, and I was like, okay. Yeah.
That was just my hunch. I remember I've guessed this a couple times in our
well, there
episodes.
was no
I
Ben,
think,
so
but just
they had to kill one of them.
oh
Right?
my
Yeah.
god,
They had to give Spider-Man his Uncle Ben moment,
And
and
they-
they did so with Aunt May.
Yeah.
great power comes great responsibility.
She said it
She
almost.
said it.
With
she
she
said
said
it.
with great power,
There also, comes,
there also comes great responsibility. And I was like,
It's
okay,
pretty much the same.
okay.
Well, I mean, she's not going to see
Why?
because it doesn't make sense. It's just like what we said about the spider sense thing that we talked about right after the
Okay,
movie. They
no,
call it
shut
tingle.
the
They call it senses, but they were mad that they didn't say Spider-Man. Use your spider
No,
sense right now.
That's not what we said. The whole movie, they refer to it as his tingle.
Yeah.
The whole time. His tingle. The
and
tingle.
then they said, "Did
his
you sense
spider
that
tingle.
too?"
And then they say, "Did you sense that?"
What,
Cool.
did you
sen-
spider sense that?
Yeah,
But
but
why
did,
not
did
earlier
you
in
tingle
the
that?
film?
Doesn't make sense.
Why
So you
didn't they?
sense
Why
that.
didn't they go?
Well, they could have said, "Did your tingle
maybe?
go off?" But
Hey, you know, like I get why like Tom Holland's Peter Parker is like my Peter tingle, and like
It
it's
just
just
sounds
everyone in
so
the universe
dumb.
calls it that.
I
just like the
flailed
Spider-Man
my
But when he
penis.
said
story.
it to Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, I was 100% expecting him to go, "What the f? Why do you call it a tingle?
I'm the
It's a
cool
spider
Spider-Man.
sense."
Also,
yeah, I'm the cool Spider-Man.
also, can we talk
Exactly.
about
A
can we
cool
talk about
Spider-Man.
Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man? That was something that was unexpected. He's like, "Yeah, I just stopped pulling my punches." Like, whoa, what the? He's
So,
the
okay,
darker Spider-Man.
which you didn't expect because at the end of the Amazing Spider-Man 2,
He was all
he
jolly.
seemed like he was like, I'm going back in it. I'm New York.
I
you
mean,
know?
Gwen Stacy died because I killed her, but other than
yeah,
that,
but it seemed like he tried. This is what he said. He tried to get back into it, but he just.
oh my god, how many Spider-Man villains do you think he killed?
A lot.
100% the Rhino for sure. I'm sure he used that
I'm
sewage
sure
plate
he-
and just cut his head off.
Probably,
that little
yeah.
kid is scarred for life.
do you want to be like me? And the kid like runs away. I'm Spider-Man, and everyone runs away.
God,
But
I just hope they bring Andrew Garfield back.
Sony, can you please bring Andrew Garfield back as
Please.
Spider-Man for your thing? Because for all your stupid,
universe.
do your all stupid bull villain movies.
Morbius and
just
stuff.
because
and-
I don't give a about those. Put Andrew in them. That makes it better.
Makes it
Makes it
so much
better.
better.
He's
Because then we have a
cool.
cool Spider-Man, and it doesn't up the story that Marvel's trying to tell.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Works out both ways.
And they're two very. I was talking to Dylan about this. They're two very different Spider-Mans. I
Mhm.
think they both embody like what's great about Spider-Man, just in two very different
Yeah.
forms. You know, because the Tom Holland one, like he's not necessarily like cool. He's kind of a nerd. He's very smart. You know, but he also has like all like the fancy tech and.
Mhm.
Andrew was like poor, but he was cool.
Yeah.
You know, like he's a cool kid.
He's a cool
takes
guy.
pictures. He skateboards,
Yeah.
and he was very cool in this film.
He's
But
very
they also made fun of him, which I think that was my favorite
I
part
think-
of the movie.
And the best
When they
part,
were dogging on Andrew, and they were like,
they were dogging on everything.
he was dogging on himself.
They
Man, my
slammed on the
films
Amazing
suck.
Spider-Man films,
Yeah,
but
a
they didn't even
lot.
point out the bad parts of like the Tom Holland ones or the Tobey Maguire ones. They're just like, your main villain was bit by electric eels, you fucking loser. And they're
Yeah.
like, hey, that guy's a Birdman.
Fought an alien.
He's
I
a-
want to fight an alien.
He's a Birdman. Why are you guys harshing on him?
I
Tobey
mean,
Maguire literally
it's-
goes, "I fought an alien goo before."
Yeah,
and they
and-
don't say anything.
Yeah, like what is that?
yeah.
Spider-Man?
I fought and then Tom Holland was like, you know, I fought Thanos
space.
twice. And it's Infinity Stones.
And they're like, you went to space? I like how that game recognizes game. They're just like, hey, you're cool. You're cool. And then at the end, Andrew's like, I'm not as cool as you guys. Hey, you're amazing. Don't say that.
You're
great.
amazing.
You're amazing, Spider-Man.
You're amazing,
And
Spider-Man.
then they looked at
2,
the camera and gave us
the second one.
They should have said
Yeah.
that.
You're amazing, Spider-Man.
Hey, you're an
too.
amazing Spider-Man too. You're
Like
Spider-Man.
the first and second movies,
And he
you
goes,
guys.
and he goes, you're Spider-Man 3. What?
Right.
You're Spider-Man 3, arguably the worst one.
Wait, do you think that they reference that because they call all the Spider-Man by numbers when they're working together as a team? Tom's like, I'm Spider-Man 1 because it's his movie. And they
Oh.
pointed out Tobey Maguire because the second Spider-Man was the best one in his trilogy.
And then
they
he's like,
said,
Spider-Man 3.
Spider-Man
yeah,
3
Spider-Man 3.
because he doesn't have a third movie.
The way he said it was kind of like,
It's like,
Spider-Man
I
3.
get it. I'm f***ing Spider-Man 3.
Yeah.
But it was fun.
All this teasing about the villains goes to show how most Spider-Man villains
Are
are
goofy as
really weird.
Really goofy. And that's what
Strange
Spider-Man
Orange.
is
That's
so
what
great
Spider-Man
for.
is.
He's so
He's
goofy.
so good. I want the first scene of the new Spider-Man movie that comes next. I want him to fight fucking Kangaroo or like Big Wheel or something stupid like that. Because
Yeah.
that's what makes Spider-Man fun. Like he's just like, are you just a fucking tire dude? And then that's how he started off before we get
This
to like
movie
a cool
felt
guy.
so high stakes. And I feel like every Marvel project that comes out recently before, the anticipation is like so high. And I just want just like a chill Spider-Man
Well, that's
movie.
kind of what Hawkeye is right now. Because we're
Yeah, I
like
guess
we
so.
get a
Holy shit, Matt Murdock.
Matt Murdock
He's in the movie.
for
was
less than 30
literally
seconds.
Less than 30 seconds, but
But
in
it
those
was
30
such a
seconds, he
good-
was the best lawyer ever.
He was the best lawyer ever. You know, I like it when my lawyer goes and
That-
catches
was-
something
'cause
without
he-
looking.
What
Yeah.
was
How'd you
great?
do that?
What was great?
I'm a great lawyer. I'm a
what
really
was
good
great
lawyer.
was that Spider-Man was about to grab it too, but he just
Yeah.
went,
Their hands
and
were
then
like,
Daredevil caught it first. Daredevil's back in the MCU,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's exciting.
and Happy Hogan is going to get arrested for tax evasion.
Yeah.
it seems like it.
Apparently, you're going to need a good lawyer, Happy. But
There were a few other very big moments that I'd like to point out.
Oh,
Point 'em out.
One, we got Ned had the rings. He's a
Mhm.
wizard. Ned's a wizard.
my
Yeah, we
least
didn't
favorite
talk
part
about
of that movie.
Really?
I
didn't
wasn't.
hate
I
it.
wasn't. I didn't hate it. I was just like, this was the thing that I heard about earlier. I was just like, cool. Why?
They needed
'Cause,
someone
I mean,
to
I
be
get
able
that,
to
but
teleport.
I mean, like,
Yeah.
I wonder if they're gonna do anything with it.
yeah,
though.
they have to do something
Right.
with it at this point.
They
Otherwise,
definitely
it's,
do.
it's going
because
to
Doctor
be.
Strange noticed.
Yeah,
and
Doctor
that's why.
Strange.
But does Doctor
acknowledged him.
Strange remember?
He fixes Doc Ock. That was another big
It's not a
thing.
Big thing. He was always a
Toby
good
just
guy.
killed him.
Toby gave him no second chance. He's like, I've changed, and he snaps his neck.
Nah.
But it was good to see Alfred Molina, and that's not how I expected him to get the gold and red suit.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
cool. He gave
Oh,
him
yeah,
back the
definitely not.
nanotech.
Yeah,
I was
no, it
like,
was pretty
"Oh,
sick.
cool." And then Doc Ock killed Aunt May. No, Green
No.
Goblin killed Aunt
Yeah,
May.
Green Goblin killing
Green
me.
Goblin
We already
killing
kind of
me.
discussed that.
No, I know. It's just like that was a very quick transition.
I thought she was gonna get sliced in half.
I thought she got stabbed by the
I thought she
glider.
got stabbed like he did.
I thought. Yeah,
I
I
think
thought
she
it
did.
was gonna
I think
be.
she did, and
I
then
think
she
she
got.
They just
blown.
didn't show it
She
in the
didn't
same
get
way.
She
skewered.
got knocked.
Yeah, she got like stabbed in the back through.
stabbed and then the
And then a
velocity.
grenade blew up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you know it's
No
all pretty
human
bad.
can do that. I'm pretty
No.
sure I'd tap out after the glider hit me in the back, even if it didn't stab me. I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm dead.
Well,
I-
no,
that was
she-
way too fast.
She stood up to.
this. I'm
she-
dead.
She stood up to make him Spider-Man and then died.
Yeah, she was like, "Great power comes with it."
Then the next big thing that I can think of is he spares Green Goblin. After Toby gets stabbed.
I thought Toby was going to get stabbed with the glider.
You did?
I thought Tom was going to swing down and Toby gets in the way and gets killed.
Oh wow!
Like
That
they were
would've
going to
been
do
awful.
They were going to do full Spider-Man. Like, oh, you did a big mistake.
You did
But don't worry,
Toby got stabbed. No
anyways.
big deal. He's gotten stabbed
think
before.
Tom is stronger than Toby.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
It looked like Tom was holding back a little
They've
bit there.
established at this point, just from the actions of everything else,
Tom is
he's the most
he's the height of
Spider-Man
Spider-Man.
strength-wise in the comics because he's able to catch a car with one hand. In the first Amazing Spider-Man, Andrew's like shaking to do that, which is no knock on any of the Spider-Mans, but he's just like, and then he keeps moving like he catches a car.
I don't
like
think
it's
Andrew
nothing.
Garfield's going to be offended by that one, buddy. You're okay.
Well, no, I'm talking about the fictional character of Peter Parker.
Oh, okay.
I don't want him to get knock
You're
on my
right.
door.
My bad.
Hey,
Hey,
Weed.
Just
Is this strong enough? Any more big moments?
The final big moment is the resolution. The whole multiverse is opening up. We see a lot of different Spider-Man characters. Danan, want to name a few?
I'll list a few because this is not everyone. If you want to see everyone, look up an Easter egg video. We're not perfect.
No.
But we'll get pretty close. We saw Rhino, both robot and in his manimal form. We saw Kraven the Hunter, maybe the one from the movie that they're making. We saw Scorpion for sure. And then we saw this weird mutated monster thing that I believe was Man Spider, which is a version of Spider-Man where the genes just make him more spider than man.
Interesting.
Man Spider.
So those are all coming through. Doctor Strange is trying to seal up the cracks, but he can't hold them. And the reason that they're all coming is because they know that Spider-Man is Peter Parker. And so he said, can you just make everyone forget Peter Parker? Like, make it so that Peter Parker never existed in anyone's minds. And so everyone forgets, including Doctor Strange, including Ned, including MJ, everyone.
So question.
This is my question.
Does that apply to all universes?
Does that apply to...
Because are Toby and Andrew just when they go back? They're going to go back and everyone's
I think it was just that universe.
What are you doing in my home with my daughter?
He is Peter Parker.
Yeah.
I thought it was the extent of him as Spider-Man. So any connection between the two, like they haven't explored it with one scene because we barely get any scene to like see what happens. We just know that Happy doesn't know him, which makes sense because he knew him through him being Spider-Man and that.
Yeah.
So that one was easy. The confusing part we get, and let's get the chalkboard out here. The confusing part is when we see MJ and Ned because they don't recognize him at all.
Right.
Which does that bring the question, does Peter Parker not exist up until this point? Because if so, that's going to create a lot of problems.
It's going to create
Where's
a lot
your
of
birth
social security
certificate?
Yeah. No, I think just
everything that happened before, like he was Spider-Man and everything, that exists. And if people are like, I'm Peter Parker, oh, from kindergarten or something, like they'll make those connections. But I think anything of him and Spider-Man, there's a huge gap.
Yeah. So what I think happens is every time in the movie where he has his mask off and he's swinging through and everyone's like, hey, that's Peter Parker.
Gone.
Just in their memory, he has his mask on. That's Spider-Man.
Yeah, I like that. I think that it's the safest thing because maybe MJ and Ned have been saved by Spider-Man a couple times.
Exactly.
So in
they
a future
know
film or
Spider-Man,
something, if
but
they show up, they'll be like, "Oh, you're back, Spider-Man," and Peter has to be like, "Yeah," but like he knows them.
Yeah.
There's some consequences in this film. Some big Spider-Man consequences.
I guess another big thing is his choice to leave MJ out of it. He could have talked to her and been like, "Hey, I'm Peter. We were dating before you forgot everything about me," but he chooses to leave it for her safety.
That's some heartbreaking junk.
Very sad.
Very sad.
I cried. Just kidding.
Then he gets a apartment.
And then he's guys, suffering Spider-Man is back.
I love
when Spider-Man is in the
Me too.
Spider-Man PS4, Spider-Man 2. A lot of Spider-Man things.
Spider-Man
but
is
mainly
always in the
he's always in the but no, he's poor. And he doesn't have a smartphone because he got blown up by hot Jamie Foxx.
Yeah.
And this is something we talked about a little bit. He's no longer being carried by Stark Tech at this point because everyone forgot who he was. He is just base Spider-Man. No Stark Tech, no nanobots. Yeah, they pressed a reset.
We had an introduction to the concept of Spider-Man through Civil War and how he could play in with all these other heroes. Now we are reintroduced to Spider-Man.
Yeah.
He is in the MCU, and it's interesting to see where he'll go next. Last thing for the spoilers. We don't see much of it, but best new Spider-Man suit of all time, maybe?
Oh my God. The blue.
The blue and the red is.
They were both.
Ugh.
Nice.
It's
Yeah.
bright. It's popping. The logos look fucking cool. I need a still image of this.
Can we please just see it? I just want to see it.
I want to hold it.
They'll release an action
They'll
figure
release an
eventually.
action for sure. But he's swinging over New York around Christmas time.
Mhm.
Same time as Hawkeye.
Could
Connection?
tie into next week.
Yes,
Probably
we'll find
not.
out. But
He
we'll
probably-
review Hawkeye
He definitely
eventually.
won't be there.
Yeah. Or he's like, hey, Peter, Spider-Man. Who's
I forgot about
Huh.
that guy.
and that's it.
Yeah.
Any last things you want to touch on about Spider-Man No Way Home before we wrap it up?
No, it was a pretty decent standard film.
Best Spider-Man film ever?
I would say by far,
Yeah,
actually.
just because it brings
Would
them all
you- yeah.
together and it's just so satisfying
Would
to
you-
watch. Like I think it's hard to beat it. You know,
I'd say best Spider-Man.
I think it's the best Spider-Man. Film.
We have to
yeah.
do something different to end this one because we already thwipped to end the last video. So what are you thinking for this one? Thwip out the butt, right?
Flip out the butt.
See y'all next week.